Have you ever heard a praise break where the chords were right, the band was locked in, but the groove just felt wrong? So today I'm going to show you why that actually happens. And it has nothing to do with the chords you play. So most musicians have had this moment. You hear a praise break and something just kind of feels off, right? The chords are right. The band is solid, man. I mean, they're locked in, they're killing it. But the notes are correct, but the groove just is not hitting, right? And you can't explain it. Your ears, it's something that you feel. Your ears know that something is wrong. So in that moment, your brain is actually detecting something deeper than just chords. It's detecting something I call rhythmic grammar. So music works a lot like spoken language. You can use the same words, but speak them with a different accent. And suddenly the sentence feels different. So groove kind of works the same way. You can play the same chords, the same notes, even the same lick. But if the rhythmic language changes, the whole thing feels different. So praise breaks usually live around 145 to 165 beats a minute. So at that speed, something very interesting happens. The groove starts to tighten up, and the subdivisions of what you're playing starts to begin to change. The 16th notes that you're playing stop feeling like decoration. And to understand the feel of a 16th note, just kind of think of a funk player playing on a hi-hat. That's kind of the feel for it, right? But a little bit faster when it comes to a lot faster when it comes to praise breaks. And you have that as the engine of the song. So instead of this having this floating quality, the groove drives the song forward. A lot of gospel songs sit closer to the 120 to about 130 BPM, right? At that speed, musicians kind of lean into a different kind of feel. That tempo sits right in the pocket of quartet and some slower shouts and it's praise and worship, but it kind of builds up. And you also have that kind of blues shuffle feel, like you may have like a it has that kind of feel to it. And it feels very different from a shout, right? A praise break. Those styles kind of use a swing or a triplet kind of feel, right? So a triplet feel is if you have like 4 beats, but you'll have like 3 beats per beat, right? You could say. So 4, 3 is 12. It'd be 12 beats. So instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, it'd be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So that's how triplets feel. It's a completely different feel from, say, a straight kind of 16th note feel like we were talking about with funk. So bands instinctively start kind of wanting to swing the note. It has that feel that is not like a shout. So those styles often use a swing, a triplet feel. So the bands instinctively start kind of swinging to the grid. Now, that's perfectly fine. It's correct for those styles, but it changes the way how a praise break is actually going to feel when you hit a praise break. Praise breaks operate on a completely different rhythmic engine. So kind of think of it like I said before as a funk player, right? You're playing funk, but at like a church speed. So instead of swinging it, the groove becomes straight 16ths. That's what makes the rhythm tighter. All right. It's sharper. It's more percussive. It's more explosive. And then you don't have to do as much work to keep the groove up, especially if the band is going, drums are going, bass is going. So you listen to a praise break drummer, it has that rapid pattern either on a hi-hat or sometimes like a lot of drummers will do like almost like snare drum rudiments. Like you have completely different feel than you're not playing like Buddy Rich on the drums. There's a place for that, like I said, at slower tempos. But that rapid pattern is what drives the whole band forward. So when a praise break sits on a swing grid, right, or like a slower tempo, something strange starts to happen to the feel. The notes kind of collide with one another, and the groove gets heavier. It becomes a lot more to work to kind of pull things along, right? Even if the band is talented and they know exactly what they're doing, the feel doesn't stick. It actually starts to break a little bit. A simple way to think about this is like trying to play a praise break at around 130 beats a minute. It's going to sound like or feel like you're trying to run a sprint in flip flops. It's just not going to hit. So praise breaks rely on those even subdivisions, right? That locks the band together like wheels on a gear, like teeth on a gear. So what we're going to do, we're going to listen to a couple of tracks here. Experienced gospel band leaders know this instinctively. You often see them like what they'll do. Ty Trebet does this. Other players, they'll stop the music. They'll tell everybody stop. Doesn't matter so much what tempo that they're at, unless they're in that tempo range between like 145 and 160. I'm going to show you these tempos now. And so you'll often see them stop, and then they're going to reset the energy. The band stops, the drummer's going to count in, or they're going to play a click. Suddenly, you got the praise break coming on. the loop coming on, right, at 150 beats per minute, BPM or faster. Like I said, a lot of artists do this. Now the tempo's gonna change. Now the whole room, everybody goes bananas, people hanging up the chandelier, all that good stuff, people going crazy. The grid just changed for the song. Now I'm gonna show you something here. I have these three different tracks. I'm gonna play it at 128, 136, and 160-ish. Anything, right? Everybody's on point, the band is locked in. But listen to this at 128 beats a minute. Okay, so you listen to it, you have that, the swing feel. The notes kind of almost run into one another, right? So that's at 128 beats a minute. Now I'm going to speed it up just a little bit. I'm going to approach the zone that we're supposed to be in. This one is going to be at 160, 136 beats a minute, right? You get the feel for it, right? So I'm going to play this now at 160, about 168, 60 beats a minute. Let's take a listen to the way this feels. All right, actually, I'll just jump a little bit. Instantly start to hear it and feel it, and your heart rate's gonna increase. All right, now that's where you want to live for the praise break. You're playing anything slower than that, it's gonna feel sluggish. You're gonna feel like you're kind of dragging a band. Now, some church traditions, there's different traditions that kind of develop, different rhythmic standard instincts. All right, and so some traditions lean towards more CCM, praise and worship kind of stuff. Sometimes the groove is swung a little bit more. Some of them have strong backbeat emphasis. Others, like myself, come from funk. You got the sanctified church rhythm, shout music, kind of, that classic kind of gospel pocket. And so these traditions can create different rhythmic dialects. Nobody's wrong. They're just speaking different rhythmic languages. So here's the big takeaway. Groove lives in your body before it lives in theory. Music theory just kind of explains what's happening, but your body recognizes it first. If you've ever heard a praise break and thought to yourself, something feels off, well, your ear was already doing advanced musical analysis. Your brain just hasn't caught up yet.